My question is for anyone over at the Competition Bureau who cares to comment. And it's a broader issue. We've been talking about the need to reconsider, perhaps review the Competition Act, but that act is designed to have government intervene to ensure there is competition. But what about all of the industries for which it is government intervention that is blocking competition in the first place? The Fraser Institute just published a report showing that something like 35% of our economy is protected against open competition. They list postal services, telcos, maple service, aviation, broadcasting, taxis, liquor, just to name a few. And there are countless others that I haven't had time to list. What does the Competition Bureau say about the countless interventions by all three levels of government to block competition and prevent workers and consumers from benefiting as businesses compete for them through higher wages and lower prices?
Yes, Madam Chair, I guess I'll field that one from Mr. Poilievre, and thank you for that question. We've actually done a tremendous amount of work in this area, advocating for regulatory reform in Canada to allow for more competition. We put out a competition assessment toolkit that we encourage all levels of government, as you say, sir, to examine their regulations with a view to reducing or eliminating regulations that impede competition, because this can open up our economy, drive productivity, drive growth. We've done a ton of work. I've spoken on this publicly in speeches where sadly I've pointed to an OECD indicator, sir, the product market regulation indicator, which at the last version of that in 2018 put Canada in second last in the OECD in terms of regulatory barriers to competition. And we've also advocated publicly that Canada ought to consider following the Australian model of a productivity commission that they had in the 1990s, which really focused in on these competition issues, made significant changes and drove significant increases in their GDP.
Understandably so. That's what trade does. Trade forces businesses to compete for workers through better conditions and higher wages, and to compete for customers through lower prices and better products. Absent competition, the fat cat CEOs and shareholders can sit back and milk the system with governmental protection, as they are now doing. Huge cause of wealth inequality. Everything from skilled and qualified immigrants are banned from working in their sector because the professional bodies won't let them work, get a permit even when they're qualified. When we're arresting people for simply taking liquor across interprovincial borders, a really disappointing ruling by the Supreme Court, which decided not to enforce Section 121 of the BNA Act, which allows us as a constitutional right to take produce across our interprovincial borders. And according to one study by Trevor Tom, economist, this is costing $6,000 per year per household in Canada. And that's recurring losses of income and consumer product benefits every single year. Can you speak further about how we can take urgent action to practically break down these government obstacles to competition in our economy?
Yes, Madam Chair. What I can say is that we have put out this competition assessment toolkit. We would encourage governments at all levels to embrace it, to review their regulations with a view to taking away regulations that unnecessarily, there are other public policy concerns at play, but if it's not necessary and it impedes competition, then amend the regulation, take it out, and allow competition to flourish in Canada.
Yeah, when it comes to these government obstacles, if it's not necessary to do it, it's necessary not to do it. So I will take a careful look at this toolkit sir, and thank you for speaking out on this, because right now the biggest obstacle to competition in general is interventionist politicians and bureaucrats egged on by self-interested lobbyists who want to keep competition out to keep their profits up. Thank you.